I wanted to do this for a while, go somewhere alone for a few days, with no internet or screens or human interaction to speak of, to spend time with myself, quietly reflecting on life, events past and events coming. And I've been scared to do this for a while too, but here's the thing, I finally did it, and I did it because I was scared. But more about that later. I arrived to this remote off-grid cabin surrounded by woods and pastures, only to find myself reined in for the rest of the days, which was perfect, even more quiet and introverted than I initially planned. The idea is you spend a few nights in this off-grid cabin, which is fully run on solar power, completely disconnected from the outside world. First things first, you lock away your phone. Unplug fully. Oh yes, and you don't even get any sockets to plug your devices in. In return, you get an old Nokia to reach the outside world if need be. You also get a map, a compass, and a Polaroid camera, which you can take physical pictures with. And a cassette tape player. I haven't used cassette tapes for probably 20 years now, to be honest, but I am still the generation that knows the link between a cassette and a pencil, if you wondered. Yeah. On the first night, I simply cooked for myself, journaled by a dim light, and listened to the eerie owl hoots outside. It was wonderful, a peaceful beginning to a few days with myself, something I wanted to do but didn't know I needed so much. Then the morning came. Stormy winds at night brought in more rain. Clouds settled in a thick mist for a while, which I watched for hours from the comfort of my bed. It's strange waking up in the morning without checking the phone first thing. No emails to look at, no news, no social media, no sitting down in front of a laptop screen for the rest of the day, working away until the sun sets again. Same thing on repeat, day after day. At first I felt lost a little, perhaps even guilty. What am I going to do with myself for the rest of the day? I only have myself to deal with, to look after, to think about. Of course, I'm not switched off completely. There is still the camera on my trusty tripod, following my every step. My work had to come with me, even to the most remote of places. But it's still stuck there with me, with limited battery power that will die off eventually too. I went on long, rainy walks in the surrounding woodlands. Not a soul crossed my path except for horses and sheep on the nearest pasture. Not a soul I had the chance to speak to over these days. I imagined myself a character in an adventure story, a wanderer exploring new paths and in turn discovering themselves. I think about my journey so far. I am eager to share my experiences, which to me are absolutely new and scary in their unfamiliarity. But there are people who literally live out in the wild, go camping in tents, live alone, live out of their van, many other things, experiences much more remote or lonely or wilder than mine. Maybe you are one of those people, but to me this is already challenging. These are my own fears I'm conquering by myself, bit by bit. Perhaps it wouldn't be quite smart to throw myself into the extremes right away. I like comfort as well, not gonna lie. But sometimes I want to do these things which to me are scary, even though to someone else they might seem like a no-brainer type of situation. The thing is, I love spending time alone, but I've never done it for a few days like that. Usually, whenever I'm alone, I rely on other visual media to keep me company. I switch on movies or YouTube videos on the background that fill that silent void of a long evening in solitude. This time, with an absence of technology, I didn't have that medium to fall back on. The only thing I had was the cassette tape player. And the thing with the cassette players is that it has a tendency to end. It's not like a music-loaded, on-demand online service that will give you an endless stream of suggested songs after your playlist has already ended. Cassette tapes eventually fall into silence, and you are on your own again. By day 3, I realized that I crave human connection. I want to look at my phone, check messages, or maybe call someone. But I also realize that I want more of this, more vastness surrounding me, more magical views outside my window. There is this never-ending battle in me of wanting to stay connected, to share my experience online, to make friends with strangers I might never get to meet in reality, and to stay alone, absorb everything with all possible senses, with every inch of my body. Get soaked under the rain or wake up to a rare beautiful sunrise. Listen to owls and bats flutter outside at night. Share this experience with select few, perhaps, and nobody else. And they fantasize about this, but it's inevitable, coming back to the real world, connecting again. And you know what? Both sides of life are beautiful in their own way. I realize how grateful I am to have this connection, whether online or in real life, to have people to share these experiences with, and how blissful it is to escape every once in a while. I think I'm going to do this more often from now on. Balance the communication with solitude. Go off on a journey alone, completely unplugged, but tell stories about it eventually. Or at least have no technology days in the comfort of my own home, but maybe share that moment with someone special. That would be a start, wouldn't it? Thank you for joining me on this journey today again. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you again soon.